Hey everyone, it's Dan.
And Georgina.
And we got here just in time. Back for episode 2
already.
2025.
Can you believe that? I can't. I mean...
Well, I noticed our pattern is we do a couple right off the top of the year and then we...
fall off. Mm-hmm. So hopefully not this year. We're going to be consistent.
And we'll talk about that a little later in the show.
Okay.
That's called a tease.
Can't wait. No, I'm just joking.
So what are you drinking?
I am drinking, actually, a little champagne. Which champagne is it? It's actually a really nice one that you got me. Roeder Estate. I don't know, something nice. And a splash of Guava Spade. It's a natural soda. I've been drinking them. Spade generously sent us a very big case. But my favorite is this Dr. Spade. So it tastes kind of like another Dr. soda that we all know and love. And, you know, there's no sugar, there's no calories in this. And so I think for a lot of people who are trying to look for healthier options in the new year, long term, I'm loving this one. What's the one that I love?
I love it too. And why did they send those to you?
It was for the WIM event. They were offering, they were providing all of our members, all of our guests with a lot of options. Actually, they had some new flavors too. What's the one that I love?
Yuzu lime.
Yes, I love that one. It tastes like a lemon lime soda that we all love, but again, with the no like artificials, no sugar, no calories, you know, you just feel better drinking it and after drinking it. So thank you, Spade. Just wanted to shout them out. What are you drinking?
I have just a little sip of Sir Davis. So.
Just a little? Just a finger. Cheers to Beyonce. Speaking of,
well,
what's happening this week?
The news will be out when this is out, but we don't know yet because we don't know yet.
Before, yeah. Speaking of news,
yeah,
there's a lot of stuff happening in the creator industry.
Let's get into it.
So, potentially RIP to TikTok.
Pour one out.
Yes.
It's a mess. It's sad. It's terrible. It's stupid. Yeah, it's a mess.
When you say it is silly, I'll say silly. I agree. I think as a nation, I think we're facing a lot of pressing matters. And do we really feel TikTok is that the priority here?
Well, I think the thing is everyone disagrees about all the matters in the government. So when they finally agree on something, they actually get it done, which is...
It's
why
rare.
Is this the thing they agree on?
Right. Why is this the one thing? Yeah.
But it's terrible. It's putting so many small businesses, entrepreneurs like into a deficit.
Yes.
Messing up their whole positioning. Technically, for me, it's not my best platform.
Same.
But still, that doesn't matter. I'm not going to be selfish and be like, oh, good. Like it's better that there's more.
I'm
options.
an avid consumer on it. Like
yes,
I love to go. We both. All we do is send each other TikToks. Like
so, it's frustrating and it's sad and it's true. Like it is really the algorithm. Like no other place has that.
They've democratized going viral, basically, in a sense. At least very much in the beginning.
Well, to me, there's something so unique and special about it. It's almost like changes to how I'm feeling at that given moment.
Yes.
Like if I linger on one certain thing, that's what it's going to show me that night because it knows that's what I'm in the mood for that night.
Yeah.
And sometimes like on Instagram, I like one video once and that's like all I see for
a while.
2 months.
Yeah.
I'm like, they need to figure this out because
it's not all I want to see. I'm multi-hyphenate kind of many interests kind of person. I don't want to just see whatever.
And I find all that stuff naturally. On Instagram, you have to really search to find it.
That's true.
On TikTok, like randomly, the books that I like, the games that I like.
Cozy gaming,
the stuff I like. I don't know how it figures it out, but like it knows everything that I want to see. It's weird.
It is. So please, y'all, make sure that you go ahead, your favorite TikTok creators, go ahead, click that link in whatever bio that they have in TikTok and follow them on their other channels. I know I've been doing it very rapidly. Download those videos of their recipes, you know, so that you can go back to it. Maybe like people are starting blogs, going back to YouTube.
I'm glad you mentioned recipes because I do want to bring one thing up.
Oh, sure.
I saw people sort of lamenting one of their problems.
Lamenting. Here he goes.
One of their problems that TikTok's going away is they were saying the recipes.
Mm-hmm.
And to me,
I am very upset about that. That's our meal planning we're going to talk about later, all TikTok, except for some of yours.
but to me, it's like it is harder to follow a recipe. It's easier than on Instagram.
Yeah.
But it's hard to me to follow a recipe on TikTok, even when it's written out. And it's harder to trust, in my opinion, like the random creators. Respectfully, I don't mean that as a diss. But like sometimes you don't know, because of the way it is, you may not be following them. You don't know what it is. You don't know how much you can trust it. And like...
This is so true. Even with that Turkish pasta, people were saying
That seemed like
they were
not
like
good to me.
They were like, this is not the way we would traditionally make
It's
it.
not
This
authentic.
is like,
Also, it's not good. It just becomes this viral thing that everyone starts doing. And I mean, you could be like old man yelling at the clouds. I get it. Like the cart has left the wagon or whatever you say.
The point is, though, it's getting a lot more people who wouldn't traditionally be in the kitchen cooking. But for me, I didn't immediately be like, we have to make that. I'm still gravitating to recipe developers. Like, I want things that I know. If I'm taking the time, because like if I'm taking the time in the kitchen, it better be good. Yeah. And there are certain people I know that I can go to, and it's flawless, and it's easier to like. And I don't mind. A lot of the time on TikTok, like you said, I have to watch the video multiple times, and I'm like, good, they're making money. I don't mind, you know. For as a consumer who wants to support these creators like yourself, I'm like, okay, the page just refreshed because of an ad. It's fine, kind of. You hear me? I'm like pushing the button, jump to recipe, you know, like because I have a different perspective.
Well, because also you can't pause Instagram Reels.
Yeah.
You
have to hold TikToks.
It. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's easier technically to follow the recipe on TikTok than it is on Instagram. But I'm just like, and they're like, we don't want to go back to blogs that were to read someone's whole life story. And I understand that stereotype and that joke and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But like, that's kind of like dated. People, it's not really what a lot of blogs are now. A lot are overrun.
They all have
ads,
jump to recipe
for sure.
So you can just go down to the recipe.
Yeah, but you can also jump to the recipe for sure.
Yeah, you can. So it's like, what else? Let's see. Old Meta. Speaking of Meta and Instagram, you know they rolled out some new news. Which as a marketer,
ugly news after ugly news 4 or 5 days in a row.
Yeah, I don't know if we have to, I think that summed it up. Honestly, I don't think we need to go any further. What else? With that, like in 2025, I feel like we've made kind of some goals on how to reach different goals, how to create process. Talk to me about what you're doing for your business. Are there brands that you're excited to potentially work with? Like, talk to me.
Yeah, it's kind of like the beginning of the year, the type of thing where you start pitching people, trying to work with different brands. And I have been like reaching out, combined to like, my strategy, I guess, is like, who have I worked with in the past that was successful? Just nudge them and see if they want to work together again. And who I think would be like a dream or perfect fit. Those are shots in the dark. They rarely work out, but it's always good to do it.
Always got to try.
And then the other thing I've been doing is who of brands has been commenting on my posts.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another thing. And a lot of times what I'll do now, and I've heard this is the best strategy, is DM the brand and ask for an email. Don't pitch in the DM.
Yeah.
But use
just
that.
An email.
Hey, well, I know we've been chatting. I know we've been interacting on social media. I was wondering if there's an email I could use to talk about some ideas that I've had about some new content coming up where I think might be a good fit.
Yeah.
Usually I get an email, so.
Yeah. Like, do you want to go deeper into that? One brand that we both love so much and have different use cases as far as content, or that'll be for next time. We're gonna create some content, I think organically for this brand, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
On my end, as a marketer, and then as a like kind of an entrepreneur, even though we're both entrepreneurs, something that we're doing differently. One, I love when a creator pitches me and they already use the product. They already have a topic that they want to create content around. That makes our life easy. I'm like, oh my gosh, they love this. They've already exposed their audience to our brand organically, so that audience is primed and ready. They're gonna be cheering this creator on, like, you turn this organic moment into something for your business, for your brand, like, that is the best. So, you know, it's hard. There's this fine line. Like, you don't want to be always just doing things for free, which is basically when you're creating content and tagging a brand organically, you're doing free work for them. But ultimately, if the content is good and there's great engagement, we're probably going to reach out, be like, hey, how much to put some money behind that? You know? And it's important. Creators know your worth. If people are asking to put money behind your content, it is quality content that has a lot of value, and that means dollar signs. As an entrepreneur, one big thing that I learned within a month, literally less than a month, is the pitch process. On December 22nd, I had a call with a brand, and they were like, yes, we want to work together, put together a proposal. It was like that week, the week before Christmas, December 22nd, sent off the pitch. They signed immediately that day and paid their deposit. We had our kickoff call on, I think, Christmas Eve, which is a little crazy. But I've noticed since we filmed our last podcast, I've signed another client. Can you believe that? I think I signed on Friday, just a couple days ago.
You've been working really hard.
I have, yeah. But I'm realizing, figuring out how to create process, to be able to get off that call and send that proposal within 24 hours and have it be comprehensive enough and compelling. It's the secret sauce, I guess. Because every time I'm like, oh shoot. And I have a great software. By the way, we're going to talk about it later. But one of my big goals in the last episode was to set up processes. I'm already doing it.
Next topic you said is maybe returning to YouTube and podcasting because of TikTok's falling apart. Meta is spewing hate.
Who's going to X? Nobody.
So all these platforms that we've been basically relying on for our livelihood in the past 8-ish years
are gone or in the trash bin.
So what is the plan, right? It's scary. It's scary.
It's YouTube, podcasts,
owned
channels that you own.
Your own blog.
Yes.
You don't own a YouTube channel. You do own your podcast, I guess, a little more because it's not dictated by the algorithm. I think that's kind of the definition of owned or not, maybe.
But YouTube
you're
is
renting
an OG.
Space technically.
YouTube is an OG. It's where a lot of people started, and a lot of people made a lot of money back in the day, and a lot of people are still making a lot of money.
But it's still not an owned channel.
Agreed,
technically
100%.
By the definition of it.
But it is a place where people go specifically to consume video content, which is exactly what TikTok was too.
Yeah.
I'm speaking like it already is gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then why don't we dig right into our goals? I know I've seen you actually using those two cameras already.
Yeah. So last week I mentioned that I was going to jump into YouTube. I have not posted other than some resharing some shorts, but I should be posting as soon as maybe Tuesday. I'm not sure when this will come out, probably around then too. But yeah, I set up my old phone and my current phone. So one's vertical, one's horizontal. And I have a whole plan on how to do that and how to edit it. And yeah, I haven't really edited it yet. But as far as getting used to the workflow of having both the cameras. And so far it seems like it's going to be successful. So we'll see how the content comes out. My 2 recipes I've done so far haven't been, I guess, like I love everything I do, but sometimes when I'm making it, I'm like, this is, halfway through I can be like, this is a huge winner, or this is just something I'm gonna love, and it's maybe won't be a success. You never know. Sometimes it will be, sometimes it won't.
He's like, I don't think this is good, and then it goes popping off, and I'm like,
I think everything I do is good. I'm just saying I don't know if it's gonna like resonate with people as much.
yes.
But I have to post everything that I love and think it's good either way, because that's what's important to me.
Yes. And as far as my goals, it was really to set up processes to make my workflow, my day more, to better prioritize my time and to create more transparency, I think, in the process between the time that I talk with a client in the beginning, document how they're finding me, and the pricing, the time that I'm spending on different types of work, through to like the end, and kind of having this retrospective. So I've been we'll link it. And if I have an affiliate link, I'm going to include it. For proposals, I'm using Prospero. Absolutely excellent. Allows you to create the proposal, send it via a link. You can actually see when your client or prospective client views the proposal, and it allows them the option to actually sign it then. And you also see when they sign it, and you can kind of have a celebration, which is what I did on Friday. And so that's been working really well, especially because I've seen that I've been having a couple of clients that are similar. So I'm able to duplicate the proposal and then customize it based on like the use case. And then second is Moxie, which is a great just client management system that allows me to take my proposal, which I usually put in phases. I'll do phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and then what is included in those phases, how much time it takes, and how I'm allocating spend to that, or the cost to the client. And then I just transfer that right into Moxie. So it gives me tasks, timelines, and then while I'm completing a task, I can track the time. So as a retrospective, I can see like based on how much time I'm spending and my anticipated hourly rate based on the income goals that I've created for the year, do I need to raise my prices? And that's all I wanted. And I started with a free trial. I actually was demoing 4 different ones for free.
Of course.
Gotta see what's what. But I know I still have 9 days left with Moxie. I'll share a link to it. It is definitely the proposal, the software for me. And I'm just trying it internally right now, but if eventually it allows a client portal, so then the client can also track all of the work and the timelines and tasks, and know when to expect to be built. So super excited, very nerdy. I'm like, yay.
Well, that's the kind of stuff that, I don't know, gets you excited.
It does. Like sometimes I wake up so excited and with ideas about my business that I'm just like, should I get up? I'm like, oh, it's 6 a.m. on a Saturday and he's still sleeping. I'm like, relax. Frida's snoring nearby, just chill.
I say if you have the motivation and excitement and you feel like working, you should, because there's plenty of times where you don't feel like working and you have to slog through it. So if you get the motivation and excitement, you should do it.
Thank you. I love that. So what else has been going on?
Enough about work. Let's talk about
fun stuff.
Us.
Yeah. Oh, we're fun.
We're fun. Yeah. We here in Atlanta, there was just a big snow day, and it was really fun.
On a Friday too.
It was fun to watch. We're from New England, and we're kind of like jaded about snow. You're like, oh, this sucks. we hate it, whatever.
Nothing usually closes down. You're still like trudging to work.
Yeah.
You know, like nothing stops or slows down typically, even for school.
It's only like fun the first few times of the year, and then by like late February, you're like, I hate my everything. So
no lies detected.
So it was really cool being here, where it only snows like once every 8 to 10 years,
And everything shuts
everyone
down.
just like having the time of their lives in the snow. There was like a snowman every 10 feet. People were just like, I don't know, my whole TikTok page was Atlanta snow day content, and
and
it was
pups
really
in
making
the
me
snow.
happy.
It was so pure. It's like people were finding any item they could to sled down hills on, and they were very creative.
Well, because they don't sell sleds here. So
They don't. Yeah.
They don't really have a lot of shovels. Like,
They're down. I've seen people's creative ways of, cleaning off their cars. I don't even know if we have a scraper anymore.
using lemon pepper on the sidewalk.
Yeah, for a snack. No, not that. Did you see the lemon pepper snow snack?
Yeah,
though? Of course. Speaking of lemon pepper.
Yeah.
I love talking about like what we're eating or what we're planning on eating. Like when I'm talking to my friends, I'm like, what are you having at the end of the call? I'm like, what are you having for dinner tonight? Because I just like to know what people are eating. I love food. Clearly we both do. What's something, I think one thing that we've made a big goal about is being more intentional about meal planning. I think we did a great job last year, but having a little bit of a reset is good for both our bodies and our budgets. And I'm sure a lot of you are feeling the same way. So recently, like on Friday, we actually made one of our favorite chicken broths. It's very nutrient dense, has all that good collagen. And we let it simmer in the
green pan crock pot.
pan crock pot. There he goes.
Yeah. And we had roasted the chicken the night before.
Dan had, and it was so good. He made it with like crispy onions, cabbage, and fingerling potatoes.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was so good.
The veggies in a cast iron, and then just put the chicken on top, aggressively season the chicken, and the veggies get all blackened from the pan, and they get soaked in the chicken fat. And I first found it from Helen R.
Helen
Instagram.
Rosner, yeah.
Yep. So
she's from the New Yorker. So talented.
Smaltzy cabbage, I think it's called. So yeah.
It was so good. Maybe we should put that back on.
I know, that should definitely be on the list.
No,
so
the thing is when we like things, we tend to like overdo it. So we gotta ration these goodies.
And then the next morning we put whatever was left on the chicken and the bones obviously into the crock pot with a bunch of veggies and herbs. And I think that's an Ina recipe that you use.
Yeah, Ina.
And so we got some nice broth from that. We have some really great meals coming up. There's like a tofu with Thai peanut sauce.
Nice.
We did a mushroom stroganoff last week. That was really nice.
That was delicious. We can do a nice like chicken thighs and veggies in a bowl with, you made vegan ranch.
So one insight into like the way we cook and eat is like, because I'm making these recipes for work, I do it during the day, and obviously if you've seen my stuff, you know it's like over the top, probably not what you want to be eating for most weeknight dinners. So I will be snacking on that as I'm making it, but being careful not to overeat. But I make sure to use components or make certain parts of it that translate into our dinner, and that's a vegan ranch that I made for a recipe that I'll be posting on Thursday, I think. I mean, on the website, I probably won't even mention it's vegan.
No, nobody wants that.
Because
probably, yeah.
I would use typically it's just like sour cream and mayo, but I used vegan version so that it would fit, like it looks the same visually and it works the same in the recipe, but then we can use it for like a healthier version of dinner a few days later.
Yes. And it'll be even better with those fresh herbs that you got.
Yeah, it was really flavorful.
Yeah, I'm excited. We also recently got barbecue from
Fox Brothers. Yeah. Love that place.
Yes. And I love that there's always so much food. So like we usually can have that place Pollo Primo. You know, it's enough for a minimum 2 meals. So I feel like you really get your money's worth.
One thing I love about Fox Brothers is, you know, when you get barbecue and you have to choose 2 sides and you can't pick, they have so many sides, and a lot of the sides are just 2 sides in one. So if you order right, like chili mac, you don't have to pick between chili and mac and cheese. It's a thing that has chili and mac and cheese in one container.
Yeah, like that other one that's like Brunswick stew.
Stew and tater tots.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do love that. And I think the only other things we were gonna potentially cover, what we're maybe listening to, reading, playing. I know we were listening to Bad Bunny's album.
Bad
Why are you
Bunny's
laughing?
album. No, it's
so good.
Yeah, it's really good, and it's like there's a song. Anyone who follows me knows
why you
that
were
I've
laughing.
been
Studying
working
Spanish.
on Spanish, and I do Duolingo every day, and I'm on like
Year 3?
1,100 days in a row.
And before.
But it's hard to learn in another language.
It is.
And like listening to a rapper isn't really like, it's so fast. And there's a lot of like Puerto Rican specific slang.
Yes.
And in this, he specifically is trying to be very like show a lot of respect to Puerto Rico. So there's certain words that are like funny, like it says nueva law, and it means like New York, but it's like has like he wrote it not the right way to say it in Spanish, but it's kind of like shows the Puerto Rican accent to it.
Got it.
So it makes it even more hard and confusing to someone who's trying to learn the language, but it makes it more special to the people who can understand it. But anyways, the point is, there's one song I should have taken more photos, and it's just like this really beautiful, cute song. And at first I thought it was about, like, a lot of people have been using it on TikTok to show like the dogs that have passed away in their life. I should have taken more photos when I was with you. And it's sad and beautiful that way. But the song is about his ex, kind of, it seems like. But this is like my perfect genre of song. It's him being drunk at a bar, like talking about how much he loves life. And so it's more just about like fleeting moments and lifetime memories and stuff. And just like being like, I love life. I'm drinking right now. Let's have a good time and talk about like times past.
Yeah. Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, it's really nice.
I feel like Dan always does this. So like one of the songs that last year I was like bopping to a lot was Birds of a Feather by Billie Eilish. And Dan was like, but have you ever really listened to those lyrics? They're very sad. And I was like, don't ruin this for me. He was like, most people listen to that and tear up. I'm like, host.
She says,
we don't need to go into it. Anywho, next. You just finished a new book.
Oh, excellent book called The Ember in the Ashes. Yes. I can't think of the author's name right now, but
we'll link it.
It is a young adult fantasy, but it's like weirdly a little darker than I'm used to reading, kind of like Hunger Games-y, I guess, where like it's young kids like battling kind of in an oppressive society. But it's the first of maybe 3 or 4 books, and I'm excited to keep reading, but I will take a break in between to keep my brain in a good space.
Yeah, one thing Dan's doing is he's kind of doing a book club with his like very close friends. And so it's, I think, Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
All those little guys with the ears.
Oh yeah, they are.
And whatnot. I've never read it.
You should join our book club.
I won't. And it's so funny. I'm like, these guys, they're really great. They all like meet together on Tuesday nights virtually because they're all over California, Portland, Oregon, Rhode Island, beyond. And you all get together, you chat one night a week, and you also catch up about the books and stuff. And I'm always like, how'd it go? And Dan's like, no one's finished the book and I'm on book 3. And I'm like, dang.
No, I'm at the same place as them on Lord of the Rings. I'm just reading other books in between.
In
the
between.
few chapters.
Looking forward to next week. We'll end it on that note. Maybe, or our bingo card. One thing that I saw a lot of people doing, instead of a typical vision board, was people were creating a bingo card for the year, creating, goals. And Dan actually said earlier, he was like, we need to make these like lofty goals. And I agree. We need a few that are a little bit attainable so that you have a few wins under your belt and you get like some wind in your sails, right?
Well, the reason I said lofty is because a bingo card, you shouldn't get them all by the end of the year.
What's on our bingo card? Just one thing.
Well, we hinted at it earlier, but it's to do 12 podcasts.
12 podcasts, yeah. And we're
number
at 2. So hopefully we'll see you next week. Speaking of next week, we have a really fun thing that we're hoping to do. We were supposed to go yesterday. This really cool plant company here, it's called Seed Atlanta. They do like an espresso martini and free plants. You buy a ticket and you get an espresso martini and you can plant shop, but then you get one free plant. So we're probably going to go next week.
And we'll show our plants.
Yeah.
The strategy is to get there early enough that you're not drinking a martini at 9 a.m., but
all the good plants
enough,
are gone.
Late enough that you aren't drinking a martini at 9 a.m. and early enough that you get there before the plants are gone.
Yeah. So we'll let you know how it goes, and hopefully we'll see you sooner rather than later.
Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time.